Alright, a new update has come to Backpack Battles. If you don't know, the game is updated weekly every Sunday, and with it, they added a new Goobert, the Carrot Goobert, and they also added a new Omega, Prime Slime or something that it's called, since it's exclusively available on the Reaper with Poison Goobert, because you can only find, the Fly Agaric with Reaper. So now they have a Carrot Goobert, which is specific for Ranger, which means that this Omega Prime Slime is exclusive to Ranger. And it's almost the same thing, except instead of afflicting and poison, you get a Empower, which is the thing that increases your attacks damage by 1, so it gives 2 Empower every time it activates. And this thing is extremely OP. Of course, it's ridiculously hard to get because it takes so much setup. You have to get Steel Goobert, you have to get Carrot Goobert, you have to get Light Goobert, and you have to get Blood Goobert. And then you have to also find another Goobert. So then you combine all those Gooberts into one Super Goobert, and its advantage is pretty much just an instant win because it activates with everything around it. You can get so many triggers so quickly, and it gives all the buffs in the world. Just ends up being super OP. So this is done on unranked, and if you saw the start, this is a new account. I am back to bronze. Yeah, I reached Grandmaster with the Ranger, but then I was playing the game on browser, so now I'm playing the game on Steam. So I'll have to work my way back up to Grandmaster, which really just more of an excuse to play the game a whole bunch more, because I feel like if I play from Grandmaster level, I'm just going to drop down back to Master. But yeah, so the start here, just kind of going for the usual Steel Goober starts where you go double sword, and then you get some rocks in there. They did nerf stones quite a bit. You can see some patch notes if you're in their Discord. Bag of Rocks is certainly a lot worse now because they reduced the cooldown and they reduced the accuracy. Went from 3.5 seconds to 4 seconds. Second time rocks have been nerfed, or stones, and also the accuracy is now down to 65%, which means you're really going to need a lot of clovers in order to make it work. I still ended up going for it just because I'm not sure it's really worth it. It's probably worth it with Hero Sword. Definitely not worth it if you don't. And maybe exclusively for Ranger because you need the accuracy and you need to find the clovers. Luckily, once you get the Hunter thing, usually you get a whole bunch more clovers, which means you have the accuracy. So really it's just, I guess, the cooldown nerf that kind of sucks, but yeah, it was pretty OP for what it was, since it's such a common item that you can get consistently, so it makes a lot of sense. But going with Spear just because it was on sale, and also Spear is just generally really good. There's a lot of people who have armor. It's pretty common in this game, so just taking it and having that open slot in front is really useful. And then I need to take carrots. Probably should move that carrot over one so it touches the banana, but that's okay. I don't notice everything. There's a Hungry Blade. So Hungry Blade is kind of nice. Takes up a little less space and is a little less annoying to have so many empty spaces in front. Plus, if you find a mana orb, you can go ahead and combine and get, what is it called? I don't know, but it's just a straight up improvement because it deals, I think it deals more damage. I think it also has a faster cooldown and it gives you mana, which means it's really easy to go into Book of Lights and get that invincibility going. And it also costs less stamina once you combine as well. So it's overall just a nice improvement. It does cost 6 gold, I guess, but if you happen to find that, I feel like it's a good thing to go for because it uses such a small amount of stamina. So you can usually have 2 weapons at least. Here, lose the first round. That's kind of rough. I mean, you don't want to lose too many rounds because you are going to have so many Gooberts on the squad that it really makes it hard to win some of the later rounds when you're trying to get all the Gooberts. But right now is your best odds of finding Goobert, or I think it's turn 6 when you have 40% chance in shop for rare items. But yeah, just trying to roll a lot for Gooberts pretty much exclusively at this point. And maybe if I find a vampire thing or lightsaber, which are needed for the other version of Gooberts, I can take those. But there's another Goobert and another carrot in the shop. So what can I sell? I have 1 gold, I need 3, so I'm going to sell the banana because it sells for 2. And there's Carrot Goobert. So Carrot Goobert, new thing in the game. What does it do? Every 6 or 5 activations, I forget exactly, it removes 2 debuffs and it gives you 1 Empower to increase your damage. So it's not bad, but it doesn't give you any defense, and that's the real issue because you need to be able to survive. And I mean, Steel Goobert actually recently got nerfed. It went from 18 to 14. That was after it was down from 20. So it's been nerfed significantly. I do think it was OP. That's what I used to get to Master in both, or Grandmaster in both Reaper and in Ranger. So now that it's been nerfed, it's going to be a lot trickier. Probably going to be a bit of a new meta. They also nerfed Falcon Blade, and that was kind of a thing to go along with Steel Goobert, because like Falcon Blade plus Bow plus Steel Goobert was kind of insane, and just like a easy way to get so many wins. So the fact that that's been nerfed, we'll see if it's still good. Maybe it is, but yeah, that was kind of the meta. So we'll have to figure things out. Just cut there because I did a whole bunch of rearranging, and it's not a ton of fun to show like 2 minutes of me just rearranging the inventory. It's also so frustrating. I found out when I was editing this, I'm like, oh my god, I should just move that there. Why does it take me like a full minute to realize that? But a good shop there. So another Goobert plus Lightsaber, slowly working my way towards it. This is done in unranked because if I were to, I mean, I'm in bronze right now, so I could actually do this in ranked. Maybe I should have. It might be even easier to play in bronze rather than play in unranked. I'm not entirely sure. But, yeah, now I guess these are the rounds that are a little awkward because having like 2 Gooberts, I don't really have enough things to actually trigger. You can see I have the Hunter thing. The most important thing about the Hunter is the actual luck charges, so the green things. You want to make sure you have fast triggering things there so that you actually get the luck. And with Ranger, it's so huge because anything in the Ranger box is going to get that extra crit chance. And with Bow and Arrow, you obviously really want the crits. So you can see I have 7, 8. That is huge crit chance, 5% per each one. So that was like 40% towards the end, which means the Bow and Arrow is going to crit a lot and activate twice. Or the Lightsaber is going to crit a lot, which makes the Bow and Arrow hit twice. So that is pretty necessary. There's a Mana Orb. I don't really have the gold right now. I guess I'm just going to be really hard rolling the Gooberts. And this round is probably going to be a loss. It's just super awkward. They also nerfed Bow and Arrow. It now actually costs stamina. They did increase its like max damage by 1, or it went from 6 to 8 to 6 to 9. But the fact that it costs stamina now might be a little bit tricky. It means it's going to be harder to go with a weapon plus Bow and Arrow. It means that like double Bow and Arrow is probably still fine because you're not going to be using too much stamina. But yeah, actually it's still low even though I have 3 weapons right now, which is kind of crazy. Daggers are going to be kind of helpful just to have something that doesn't cost any stamina. And honestly, 3.5 second cooldown is pretty much the best I can hope for. Maybe just like a whole bunch of blueberries and foods would be better to activate as many things as possible. Maybe Light Goobert is probably better than Carrot Goobert here to get that extra healing plus inflict blind. So I should maybe swap the carrots and the light because the Hungry Blade is much faster in activating it. But luckily the Bow and Arrow's critting is just huge. Looking for acorns, which is perfect. Find it right there, and actually messed up here because I should not have bought the Goobert. I realized immediately after, I was like, wait a second, I'm not actually putting the Goobert in this turn, so I really messed up because I need to put this acorn in so it hits both the bows. I can move the hunter thing, but like I said, I really want those extra like quick activations to get as much luck as possible. So kind of messed up there, but I'll have to buy this 2x2 next turn and then hopefully just not die in the meantime. They've got a Carrot Goobert build, so you can see, I mean, the debuffs aren't really a huge issue anyway usually. Like, poison is not the strongest thing in the game, so you don't usually have to worry too much about poison builds. And the other debuffs are, what, like snow and blind. I guess blind can maybe be an issue, and snow is like pretty rare. There's not too many things that actually inflict it. You have to have either gems or you have to have that rare unique stone, and those don't come up like too frequently, I would say. But there is the Blood Goobert. Go ahead and sell this garlic, get that guy in there, and yeah, probably gonna lose this round. It is not looking like a very strong squad to have all of these things in here. Position the blueberry, and yeah, probably should get the Goobert to activate on stone. And yeah, so need one more Goobert. I'll have all of the Gooberts besides the plain one. Odds aren't amazing, but any team probably beats me here. As you can see, I don't think I did 0 damage to them at the end. Perfect. Great squad. Anything on sale, I could just buy, of course, because I can just sell it if I happen to find a Goobert in the shop. And now we hard roll for Goobert and just pray for good RNG and hope it works out. But Once I do get it, it's so nice to just like get instant wins. It's just so insanely OP, which probably makes sense because like if you're playing an actual ranked game, I highly doubt you're gonna get this. Like unless if you're bronze, silver, something like that, it's gonna be so difficult. I feel like the teams really start to get good once you start to get like plat. Then you really have to like kind of follow the meta a little bit more. I mean, you can still do a pretty decent variety, but the game they're not, the devs even posted in Discord, in their own Discord server, that like their main focus is on new items and stuff right now. It's not completely on balancing. They'll still try to do weekly balances where they nerf like the super OP things, but yeah, their main focus isn't on balancing right now. And luckily, did manage to find even an on sale Goobert, which was very nice. I sold the Hungry Blade, which kind of sucks because that was one of my fastest cooldowns, and then just have to put you in the middle and everything lines up perfectly. And yeah, not gonna worry too much. This is just a loss. I mean, what team could I possibly beat? I have to have all the Gooberts positioned like this, and it's just not gonna get a ton of triggers. So another loss there. Luckily, I had plenty of hearts from winning the early game, which after playing a bunch of Ranger, usually you do have the best early game because like double sword is so OP and pretty much beats everything. But you can see all the activations around it. Instead of just like the 2 spots next to it, you have the entire, like, how many stars is that? 4, 8, 12? Is that 12 stars, maybe? So many different ways to get it. I think, wait, could I move the bows up? I would have to move the ranger box up as well. Sure, take attack speed, everything. Attack speed is just perfect, because as long as I get enough triggers, it just makes everything so good. You can read the entire thing, but it pretty much just gives you armor and extra damage, so it just ends up being insane, and it heals you, and it gives you a whole bunch of buffs. It's just so good, and yeah, as long as you have enough things, you just win. Kind of combines all of the previous Gooberts into one, which is exactly what it does. And then I guess like the best things probably, I think I actually skipped a dagger. Maybe I should just put a whole bunch of daggers because there's not many things that are going to be faster and like free. I guess a whole bunch of foods, but like it gives damage to all the weapons, so the daggers become super strong. So maybe that's just the ideal thing because there's not too many things that don't use any stamina. Like I could try to get like a dragon guy in there, but yeah, it's gonna be a bit late at this point. So just like lamps I was looking for mostly. That's the fastest cooldown. That is not a weapon, 2 seconds. And also, I just found out that when it uses the ability, the damage it gives is permanent. I thought it was a one-time thing where it makes it deal 27 extra damage once, but it turns out it's a permanent 27 extra damage. It took me way too long to realize this, and so it actually is worth it to point the lamps at the weapons, because for the longest time I wasn't really worrying about it. But yeah, the bows are carrying because the crit chance is just super good. I still have the hunter thing, and I guess I can take that Hungry Blade back. I sold it before when it was on sale and just find it on sale again. And now these stones will get super OP. Probably not the best thing to actually lamp, but I also want it to give the Goobert activations, so again, maybe I should move up the bow. As long as it's in the ranger box, I think I could have gotten more triggers out of it, which just shows how broken this is, that even not getting like every single trigger going, it still just absolutely destroys every team. And another lamp for next turn. Just want to make sure everything is good. I have so much extra space now. I could sell the space to like put in some things right now, but I figured I'll use the space eventually, right? And yeah, just look at that. Just so quick in the instant deaths. Once I get enough luck and like enough triggers, the bows deal insane damage and they crit every time. So there we go. Another lamp, another fast cooldown. You can see some cuts just because I do a bunch of rearranging that I don't feel like is super interesting, and also it takes me forever. Gems, I maybe should have taken some gems earlier. I could have gotten even more attack speed or something. That would have been perfect. So not even like the best possible build. I could have tried to go for some like greed eco as well. Maybe take some piggy banks, which are generally like not worth it when you're actually playing ranked because it's such a loss in like tempo and you can't lose the early rounds that frequently. It's just not worth it for like 1 extra gold. But if you're playing unranked, you can kind of get away with it. You can see I just was going in slow, normal speed there, and we could take a look at some of the damages. 36 to 39. You can see the lamps, the stones dealing insane damage. Just everything is so incredibly OP, And oh yeah, one random bonus run. I just had a good carrot run that I wanted to show. Huge defense with the vampire armor plus the shields, which I should have had all touching each other. That was my bad. But you can see the absurd amount of defense that I got. And then I also get a bunch of like buffs from the carrots. Although I think they got kind of removed, but that was kind of my damage source there. And that was a fun little build. So thanks for watching. See ya.